What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today we're checking out a brand new $300 smartphone for 2023, and that is the Poco X5 Pro 5G. This is a phone that really impressed me in a lot of ways because it has tons of incredible specs and features at a very attractive budget price point. And in this video, we're going to be comparing it to some of its predecessors, the X4 Pro and the X3 Pro, talking about some of the different characteristics between the lineup, and more importantly, taking a look at the X series as a glance and seeing the offerings that you have in 2023 when it comes to a budget smartphone. I'm going to be giving away a Poco X5 Pro, an X4 Pro, as well as an X3 Pro smartphone. So if you would like to win one, just make sure you let me know down in the comment section below as to what your favorite feature is and what is most important to you, as well as dropping a thumbs up on this video and follow me on Instagram because we'll be contacting the winner on Instagram directly. Do not look at any of the spam comments down there because I know that's been an issue in the recent times. And I also want to give a huge thanks to Poco for sponsoring this video. So quite a few years ago, Poco made their entry into the budget smartphone market via Xiaomi. And this is a company that I've found very interesting from the start because we actually went ahead and reviewed the first generation smartphone. And even at the time, it was delivering a ton of value for the price. Taking a look at the new X5 Pro 5G smartphone for 2023 in this budget lineup, for under $300, here are some of the features. First off, when you take a look at the hardware, it comes in at a thickness of just 7.9 millimeters and weighs in just over 180 grams. It is very light, it's available in 3 different colors, and I will say that the yellow is interesting and it's quite out there, but maybe not my favorite. I sort of like the blue and the black a little bit more, but it has like a very soft feel to it, super simple and muted, and it is really a phone geared towards Gen Z users who are maybe getting their first smartphone or just looking for an offering that has a lot of the key features when it comes to multimedia. The display, in my opinion, though, is one of its best traits. It is a 6.67-inch Flow AMOLED display with a full HD plus resolution, 120 Hz refresh rate, 240 Hz touch sampling rate, and a 5 million to 1 contrast ratio. So the AMOLED display itself is what you would expect. Super vibrant, the colors are nice and sharp. I think it just looks incredible, but most importantly, one of the most underrated features is the fact that it has over 1 billion colors and a 10-bit DCI-P3 color space and a peak brightness of 900 nits. As soon as I turn this phone on, for the price, the display itself is absolutely worth it. You can see it has like a very small cutout on the top for the front-facing camera, but otherwise it goes right up to the edge, and I think it looks awesome. When you're watching movies and videos while also playing back some of the content that you have captured, it really has all the characteristics that you of course would expect out of an AMOLED display, where the contrast and the blacks are definitely there. In addition to that though, it is also powered by a Snapdragon 778G processor. It is an 8-core CPU that comes in a configuration of 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM and can actually be expandable in a way up to 13 gigabytes. When it came to everyday tasks such as like scrolling around news and social media, as well as playing some games, it was able to handle all of those things. But I think what is most impressive is the combination of the display as well as the processor paired up with the battery. It features a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and with a full HD display and the processor set, you're able to get very smooth performance, but at the same time, the full HD plus display and being AMOLED gives you really impressive battery life. We've had this phone now for over a week and been using it on and off for testing when it comes to recording video as well as photos, and we haven't really had to charge it much at all. It has fast charging capabilities of up to 67 watts, but the other aspect here, whenever you want to evaluate a smartphone, is the camera. And I think it is kind of subjective when it comes to a $300 price point as to what expectations you should have. But the main camera on the X5 Pro is 108 megapixels, and from looking at the samples here, I was quite impressed. The photos that it's able to take, as well as the video and the stabilization in 4K, definitely punches above its weight class. And with an aperture of f1.9 on the main camera, it is able to do a decent job in low light performance through its image signal processor, but I wouldn't say it was anything impressive in that aspect. And when we talk about some of the other cameras, it also features an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera at an f2.2 aperture, which I would say looks pretty decent, but it isn't the highest resolution. Usually I like to see a minimum of about about 12. And when it came to the third macro camera, I mean, it's still a good camera to have if it's something that you enjoy taking photos of and feel like you'll utilize it. But as I said, the main camera is one that even on its own, if we weren't to include the other two cameras, exceeded my expectations. Poco is always keen to introduce flagship level features to the X series, the mid-range phone, giving users a chance to enjoy these features at an unbeatable price. Compared with other mid-range phones in the same period, it is cost-effective and highly competitive, both in terms of price and features. So let's talk about some of the other models in the Poco X series lineup, including the X3 Pro and the X4 Pro 5G. And starting out with the X3 Pro, it features Snapdragon's 860 processor, and the display is a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus LCD display. It also features a 48 megapixel camera, but compared to some of its competitors such as the Samsung A71 and the Oppo A92, it features a more powerful and more efficient processor, a higher refresh rate than the Samsung smartphone, and the fastest charging speed and largest battery of the three, while coming in at a lower price point. When it comes to comparing the X3 Pro with the X4 Pro, the big change here is in the display. The X4 Pro upgrades the display from LCD on the X3 Pro to an AMOLED display. And even though both these phones have a 120Hz refresh rate, the X4 Pro has a touch sampling rate of 360Hz, which is going to be key for gaming, but also just the general fluidity of the smartphone. The processor is the Snapdragon 695 5G chip with a 67-watt turbocharging compared to 33-watt fast charging on the X3 Pro. The main camera on the back is also 108 megapixels at its maximum resolution, which even though 48 megapixels is really respectable for the price point of the X3 Pro, stepping that up to over 100 megapixels for the price point that it is offered at is impressive. And when you compare it to its competitors such as the Samsung A52 5G and the Oppo A94 5G, it not only has a more efficient and more powerful processor, but it also has a larger display as well as faster charging than both the Samsung and the Oppo by more than double. Comparing the X4 Pro to the X5 Pro though, these are smartphones that have a lot of the similar characteristics such as the 108 megapixel camera, but some small improvements in the display. The X5 Pro has a 6.67-inch Full HD Flow AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate, and the chipset is also stepped up to the Snapdragon 778G, which is a 6nm infrastructure, and it also features a 5000 mAh battery. What is also a little bit different here though is the design. The X5 Pro is just incredibly light. It weighs in at 181 grams, while also coming in at a thickness of just about 7.9 millimeters, which is really impressive. With all the power and the great features that have also been shared with the X4 Pro, it is just a lighter smartphone that gives you ultimate efficiency, some camera improvements in the software and image signal processing side of things thanks to the chipset. So with all three models of the X series here, how do they compare with the 48 megapixel camera compared to the 108 on both of them? So here are some samples on screen. As for the display, I would say that all these options have some very solid displays, but the AMOLED is definitely a step up from what you find on the X3 Pro, and that is something that I've definitely noticed, and I love AMOLED displays on all the smartphones that we checked out. What is common within all three of these models as well is that the battery is over 5000 mAh. And I would say, like with chipset technology nowadays, with any of these processors, you're gonna be able to handle most tasks that you need because these displays are Full HD Plus, which means it isn't pushing the resolution aspect. So all the processors that have been selected for the specific models not only focus on efficiency and 5G, but also in general performance and AI when it comes to image processing. So just to wrap up our summary of the Poco X series, how would I describe this lineup? And Poco's mission with the X series is to combine all of the best features brought in from flagship smartphones and finding that ultimate combination to suit different users out there and giving you a suite of features that you value. So for some people that might be the display, others it might be the battery life, and for others it might also be the camera if you want to utilize your smartphone a lot to capture different moments in time. And with features such as the AMOLED and Flow AMOLED display, as well as a 108 megapixel main camera that we've seen on the last two generations, paired with 5G, as well as a great processor technology that is able to maximize the performance that you get out of the display and the efficiency with the battery life, Poco has really set itself with the X series to close the gap between mid-range and flagship smartphones while coming at a budget price. It's actually really impressive what they've been able to do here, all with a very well engineered form factor that is thin and light, such as the X5 Pro. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what other budget phones that you would like me to check out on the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.